Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 19, episode 10, and today we're back for the FA Cup final at Wembley. It's the penultimate episode of this series, and Zinedine Zidane's got a tough test in store for us. Southampton did fall down the league towards the end of the season, and in fact they're 11th with one game remaining, and if they win it they can still finish in the top 7, and with it qualify for a place in Europe. They can of course get that out the way by beating us today, but fingers crossed we'll be able to add another trophy to our legacy. Southampton have the best goal difference of anyone outside the top 5, including Bournemouth, who we did then beat on the final day of the season. We tried our best to lose and get them into the top 4, but Liverpool won their game anyway, so in the end it became completely irrelevant. We've got Richard Quirk out for this game, although Southampton have got 7 injured and 1 suspended, so you'd think we're favourites based on that, but of course any task is easier said than done. We still haven't managed to get Zinedine a new deal. Of course that won't affect us in the future, but thinking of the club, we wanted to be realistic. We've always tried to maintain that throughout, and he's the man we really need to keep. Probably been the best player at the club this season. We did win 3-1 in that Bournemouth game though. Brune Souza and Grassi are off the bench with the goals. Andrew Brown, the youngster, still struggling in front of the goal, but fortunately the lad saved him and got us the 3 points. So we came from behind in that one and we really did a good job after our brilliant defensive performance in the last episode to get us to the Champions League final against Liverpool. That will be the series finale on Sunday, so please do come and join me for that. And then if you want to get up to date with what we're going to be doing for FM20, do catch up with our plans playlist. There's 3 episodes in it so far, with 1 more to come on Saturday, where we talk about all the clubs we're going to be managing in our different saves and allow you to vote for one of our long-term stories. So make sure you're up to date if you're not already, but a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series. And then once we finish this season and the save with Torquay, we'll do 2 special episodes at the end. One will be looking a year after we resign to see what the new manager does in his first season, and the second will be a 20 years in the future video where we look at the footballing world in the summer of 2038. But for now we're worried about the FA Cup final. It probably will be a slightly shorter episode as we're just focusing on matters on the pitch, and with no summer and no transfer window to come after this season, we can relax knowing we're going to resign. The fans are just trying to cheer us out the door, and we're just trying to make our legacy as strong as possible. The dynamics are brilliant despite a couple of slightly concerned players, Zinedine being one of them wanting a new deal, but we cannot afford 300 grand a week. Despite that, we have got the finances back on track, into the black for the first time this season actually. You can see they've been in the red a huge amount of the time, particularly in terms of monthly profit. Our bank balance is coming down anyway, and the board are having to pump some money in. So doubling a few players' wages certainly won't help with that, and as a result we're trying to be realistic there. But we're going to Wembley today, and that's the thing we've got to focus on. An FA Cup victory and one in the Champions League final would surely benefit our coffers slightly. So let's see if we're the favourites for it. We are, but only just actually. We've got a brilliant head-to-head record against Southampton, who in our early years in the Premiership were yo-yoing between the Championship and Premier League. We're both in inconsistent form and not doing great, so we don't really know which way this one will go. I guess it depends of those 7 injuries for Southampton, how many of them are first team players, and the suspended player you presume has played a lot of games, otherwise how will he have got sent off? Our 11 today is probably just as predictable as you'd expect. It's the exact same one we played in the second leg of the Champions League last time out. We obviously rested the whole 11 against Bournemouth, although I think Stojanovic might have played in goal. So as a result, our lineup for today is Stojanovic as the sweeper keeper, Cura and Wagner the attacking fullbacks with McDonald and Singy in the middle, Bakken as the deep line playmaker, Omar and Keita the midfield too, and then Zinedine and Kant on the wings with Alex Andrade up front. He's not scored for a couple of games, neither of many of the players in the first team actually. We had the 0-0 draw against United, and most of them haven't played aside from that. So let's go and get into this game and hope we can get across the line. Gracia could come on against his former club. He has scored 3 goals in his last 2 games, and in Souza, Silla and Kante all attacking substitutions, and we've still got Torquay Hole on the bench if we need to do the same as we did against United. So the positive mentality remains, and I'm hoping we won't have to change from it today, but let's go and get into the FA Cup final and see if we can retain our favourite trophy. Here we go then, a 4-2-3-1 for Southampton. We don't recognise too many names, but there is one former player in the ranks. Look at the left back, it's Alan Wood. The youngster we signed for a few £100,000, went off to Southampton for big money, and now he's starting for them in an FA Cup final. Done a really good job for them all year, and in fact we'd quite like him to come back and replace Bruno Marais, but I don't think we had a buyback clause or anything, so he's going to be sticking with them for the time being. In terms of his history, he did play a few games for us, but none of them were in the Premier League. 2 cup appearances in his second season and 2 in his first one as well actually. We made a £19.75 million profit, but today he's coming up on the opposing side. So that will certainly be an interesting moment, but we're not going to worry about that for now. We're going to go to Stuart Jelling's favourite team talk and tell the lads to prove a point, and if any of you do take over the save at the end of this year, that's another thing you're going to have to contend with. Stuart Jelling has decided to retire this summer, so he's going to be with us in Japan until June, and then he's going to be hanging up his boots for good. A really solid assistant manager, has done a brilliant job for us mentally, and we'll thank him for his service properly in the next episode, hopefully after he's helped us to 2 more trophies. So let's go and get into the first half via the tunnel interview and see if the players that are missing to Southampton make this task a little bit easier for us. It's Alan Wood at left back now, the man we mentioned pre-match, and he gives it straight away to Omar in the centre circle, and in turn he hoofs it out for a throw-in as the misplaced pass goes towards Lee Kant. 5 minutes gone, there's been no threat to either goal, and the 10 seconds we saw on camera was woeful. Stefaniak with a cross from the left side, Southampton lose out with a poor delivery, Cura clears and now Keita with a through ball, Andrade's in the penalty area, good effort and it's tipped behind by Thorpe, and presumably Omar will take an outswinging corner. Is there going to be a Torquay head on the end of it? There is in McDonald, but it whistles over the bar. Had plenty of power but not the direction, and with 10 gone Southampton still survive. It's a throw on the right hand side for them though, given away straight to Luca Wagner. He finds Andrade with 2 running off him, Omar's one who shoots, it flies past the keeper into the top corner. You would have expected him to go towards the far post, but in the end he drilled it into the near side, and the keeper had absolutely no chance to stop it. 1-0 Torquay, and it's the big game player Omar again, the Brazilian international doing the trick. Cura delivers to Kant and he's scored as well. A well worked routine from a throw in. There were 3 or 4 unmarked in the box for Torquay. Cura delivered from the byline. It almost looked as like the Southampton players didn't think he'd keep it in. None of them followed their runners, they all just started jogging out, and in the end Lee Kant was one of the 3 in the box and he volleyed it into roof of the net. We've just conceded at the other end though in this yo-yo end-to-end game. We didn't defend that corner well and Gregolin knocks it in from a yard. I really wanted to be excited about this game, but I knew it was going to be nervy. A bit like the FA Cup final last year actually. We played Championship Crystal Palace with Owen Jack up front, and we were such favourites to win it that we just wanted to get it over and done with. In this one we could win our 3rd FA Cup title, 4 final appearances we've made. One of them was just our 2nd year in the Premier League I think, and on that occasion we really struggled. It's Omar with a shot at the other end again. We resume our dominance but it's saved by Thorpe. Half an hour gone at Wembley Stadium, Torquay United 2, Southampton 1. It's Thorpe with a long goal kick for the away side. We say the away side, it's a neutral venue, but the opposing side if anything, as Yiladian picks it up on the right. Charges at the defence, but Gregolin the scorer with a good challenge, making a contribution at both ends there, and Galley brings it out with time to Antar. We're not really pressing the Southampton midfield. Tries to switch it, but Lee Kant gets there. His ball through is poor though, and Antar does well to recover his error, and Swan finds Ferreira on the right wing. He finds Dam the centre forward. There were plenty of media reports in the build-up warning us of the threat he has, and Stefaniak finds him and he shoots and scores, and it's 2-2 here in the FA Cup final, and we timed that speech right, didn't we? Dam scores the goal, a brilliant finish, and he showed his threat with that effort. We've really been pegged back here and we got a little bit arrogant at 2-0, and as a result it's going to be all square at half time, and we've got a lot of thinking to do in the dressing room. We've got loads of warnings from Jelling to close people down, and we're going to have to pay attention to those and just try and get through to half time on level terms. Well, the saying's normally a game of 2 halves, but that one was a half of 2 halves. We've dominated it in terms of stats, everything aside from possession as usual. Stuart Jelling doesn't change, he wants the lads to prove a point. I'm going to disregard his advice for once and tell the lads I'm not happy. They're all motivated or fired up, and we need them to respond in the second half. Yiladian's unhappy at the club, and you can tell that in his performance today, and the rest of them haven't been great either, as we really switched off after going 2-0 up. Is Keita in the middle of the Southampton half, finds Baccanes who goes back to Nsingi, and suddenly we find ourselves in defensive areas as we're trying to play out from the back again. McDonald finds Baccanes in the centre circle. He finds Nsingi and McDonald again. Really good pressing from the away side here. Their two banks of four working really well. Out to Cura on the right. I know I keep saying the away side. It's a fortune of bad habit as Andrade gets a header from the edge of the box, but he was too far out to get enough power and direction, and he's straight into the arms of the Southampton keeper Thorpe. Just under an hour gone, it's an Omar corner. McDonald heads just over again. He's won a few from these set pieces in this match, but he's not managed to do too much with them. Maddie Cater's picked up an injury again. At 31, you've got to hope it's not a serious one. Malik Kante is a ready-made replacement, but that is going to be a bit of a disruption to our side. Cater had been one of the better performers in attacking areas, so he is going to be missed as we've got a quarter of the game to go. We'll go and make another change or two. Once we've seen off this Southampton throw-in, Lee Can heads away to Antar. Diarra picks it up to Stefaniak, and I'm really starting to worry we're going to throw this away. It could end in disaster this series yet if we manage to lose both of these cup finals. Antar keeping it for Southampton. Goes for the shot from distance. It's just over the bar. Stojanovic was worried, but thankfully it went onto the roof of the net. Let's go and make the final two changes and hope they can make a difference in this final. The first change we're sure of, that's going to be Sousa for Yaladian. Apprehensive, not playing well, and of course he's a little bit unhappy too. But the second one is going to be a massive gamble, I think. Alex Andrade I'm going to replace with Gracia. 26 goals scored this season, replaced by a man who scored 4, but 3 of those has come in his last 2 games, and he's motivated to play against his former club. It could be the worst decision I make all season, but we've got to hope it'll enable us to get a winner. We've gone and encouraged the lads with just 8 minutes left. We've got a long throw on the left from Cura. Wagner finds Omar who gets a snapshot away. Brilliant save by Thorpe. And I'm starting to get concerned we're not going to find a winner here. And Southampton are still having a few chances of their own. It's Diarra 25 yards out for them. He goes back to Antar who's been brilliant in midfield. Diarra again with options out wide. And he goes to the right back Cheshire. Inside to Antar and Diarra again. Shoots from miles out and it's over. He probably should have done better there by finding a pass to put Southampton in. 1 minute plus stoppage time, we've got a free kick on the right, and it's probably our last chance to get forward and score a winner. It's Omar in the centre circle to Kant, out on the left with the man overlapping, delivers from the byline, Sousa's there, but the header's feeble and is straight at the keeper. The highlight ends and there's just 30 seconds remaining. We need plenty of stoppage time and one more clear chance. 1 minute into 4 added on. Ferrero finds Antar. Is Southampton coming forward if anything? Shoots from miles out and Stojanovic drops it behind the goal line. Thankfully he was wide of the post, so it is just going to be a corner. We've conceded one from here already in this game though. He does come and reclaim his error. Claims the ball, brilliant goalkeeping, made up for his momentary lapse in concentration. We're about to go to extra time now as the 4 minutes are up, and that does mean we'll get an extra substitution, but we're going to need to make more than one tactical change. Let's go and talk to the lads. Stuart Jellin agrees with me this time. We're going to be aggressive, tell the lads the trophy's on the line, show them we're born winners, but we do need to make that 4th substitution. Kyle McDonald's really struggling for fitness, and we have conceded from set pieces, so I'm going to gamble and bring Torquay Hull on, and Hull will partner Nsingi at centre back. Is Azali to Ferrero as Southampton have the kick-off. Hopefully they won't create a clear-cut chance. Jovic finds Diarra who keeps it well, and Antar that man in possession again. Ferrero keeps it as the highlight ends, and with 5 gone in extra time, we've got a corner on the right hand side. Omar delivers towards Nsingi who loses out. Sousa finds Omar again. Good 1-2 into the area. Gracia brings it down, but he has gone too wide to get a shot away, and Diarra brings it out to Jovic. Are we going to see a Southampton counter here, or are we going to be able to hold them off? It's still 2-2. It's been a brilliant game, and Southampton have played their part coming forward. Antar finds Stefaniak on the right. Plenty of time to deliver again. He finds Antar who's got space on the edge, shoots and it's a brilliant save. Stojanovic keeps us in the FA Cup final. Wonderful goalkeeping by our number 1. Antar bringing it forward for Southampton again. They're all over us in extra time. Stefaniak to Dam and it's a save by Stojanovic. The flag was up for offside and we had an epic glitch there for a moment. 100 minutes almost on the clock and it's still 2-2 at Wembley Stadium. We've asked the lads to show some passion as we're back for a free kick. Omar puts it over from absolutely miles out. If that's one of the best highlights we can create at this stage, that is a bit of a warning for how badly we're playing. We're just about to come up to half time in extra time, and it's still 2-2 here. Southampton very much holding their own. There's the half-time whistle then, just 15 more minutes of extra time and then we'll have the nerves of a penalty shootout. We've already seen how bad some of our penalty takers are, so we really wouldn't like to rely on that. Sousa tries to switch to Kant early on, there's two men in the box if he can find them, Gracia brings it down, it's a brilliant last-ditch challenge, not the best first touch in the world, but the defender still did very well. It's Wagner on the left again who tries to cross it in, but it's blocked well by the fullback and it's out for a Torquay United corner. Omar will deliver, there's 5 or 6 in there. James has a free header at the back though, and Singy brings it down for the second ball, but it's a good challenge by the right back Cheshire, and he gets it away to Dam who holds it up on halfway, and the highlight ends with no further danger. It's Wagner on the halfway line with a free kick. He finds Kant as we start to assert our dominance again. Baccanes finds Wagner the fullback again. His cross has been really poor all game. That one was just as bad, hit the first man, and is cleared as far as Torquay Hull. He finds Cura and now Baccanes. Still on our own half with Omar. Wagner picks it up again, we need a moment of magic, but this time he's challenged, but luckily it falls to Omar. He finds Kante the substitute, out to Cura on the right byline, everyone's missed it and Gracia scores, and it's turned out to be the right substitution. He always delivers in the big games at the end, he just scores in cup finals and pretty much nothing else. A brilliant goal after a missed interception from Ferrero, and that may well cost Southampton the final. Marco Gracia, after a terrible season again, has turned up in the big cup finals and delivered what could be a winning goal. Sousa on the byline into the box, headed away by 2 Southampton players, and it's just 30 seconds plus stoppage time to go, and we'll be FA Cup winners for the 3rd time in this series. It's Jovic out to Ferrero though, keen to atone for his error, into Azali, Hull heads away, Jovic finds James unmarked, Wagner with the block on this occasion, it's Hoof long downfield and Gracia will chase, but it's in vain as it falls for Gregor in the centre back. Thorpe clears it long downfield, the keeper. Good win by Baccanes to Omar, got time and space to run into as it falls for him again, but it's cleared and Southampton have got 2 up front. Azali finds Dan, one of the goal scorers. He's picked it up on the left wing, delivers and Wagner heads away. Brilliant, resilient defensive effort in extra time. We're holding on for dear life, just 20 seconds left. Wagner wins a second header of the match, and it falls for James who Wagner's fouled. We're just going to drop to a balanced mentality, and once we clear this free kick it will be game over. Marco Gracia the hero again, Baccanes is fouled, it's a free kick and game over. It'll be full time as soon as it's taken. The whistle goes, we win 3-2. The FA Cup is being lifted by Baccanes. A brilliant performance and result, although Southampton gave as good as they got. A brilliant result though, and we do win the FA Cup final. Another trophy defended and retained for the 2nd year, and the 3rd time we've won it in Torquay's history. We deserved it on the balance of play, but we relied on a Marco Gracia extra time goal. And how can a player be so poor all season? 2 years in a row he's done it, and then turned up in the big finals and scored the winners. What a substitution it turned out to be. The lads have gained confidence, we've got to keep them on side. Of course we've still got that Champions League final in 2 weeks, so let's go and quickly see what the media said about the game and plan for that final against Liverpool next time. There we go then, confirmation of the extra time win. We lift the FA Cup yet again. An incredible quintuple and we could win one more yet. Although of course some of the competitions have more reputation than others. Maddie Cater's injury is 3 to 4 weeks, so he will be out for that Champions League final. I guess the positive though is we'll have Richard Quirk back, so a slightly stronger substitutes bench if nothing else. £2.5 million for winning the final, though I'm sure we'll have to pay out some money. Let's see how much the players receive, almost exactly the same. The board are delighted with that win. Of course we were one of the favourites pre-season anyway. And the board are pleased, we've won it 4 out of 5 years. My apologies, we've won the FA Cup 4 times. That is an incredible achievement. My favourite competition, and we've won it more than anything else. Cura was on form in the final, 2 assists including the one for the winner. So we'll say his passing was a joy to behold, and he's gained confidence from that. Omar and Andrade were being watched by the Brazil boss, as was Southampton's player Gregor, and he scored one of the goals in that final, so I'm sure the Brazil manager got plenty out of the trip. There's the FA Cup review finally to finish on. Man United underachievers, Stevenage overachievers. Of course a side we managed at one point in our head coach series, but Torquay United are the champions, and that's the most important part for this series. Let's go to the schedule to see the last episode of the season, which will be on Sunday against Liverpool in the Champions League final. I do hope you'll come and join me for that one as we try to complete an epic season and cement our legacy in Torquay United history as well as the English Managers Hall of Fame. We will have a look at that and review it at the end of the next episode too, which of course will be influenced hugely by the result. But if you did enjoy this episode and that thrilling FA Cup final, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I don't know about you, but I was really impressed with the Southampton performance, although we did give them a few little gifts. But Marco Grassi are the hero again. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a player like that, awful all season but turns up on the big occasion, and he has been the hero in so many finals. Subscribe to the channel to see the final episode from this series on Sunday, as well as the 20 years in the future and Torquay United 1 year on episodes next week, and in daily FM20 content as soon as the beta's released, with 5 episodes a week from our One Club story and 2 a week from our One Season beta save. We've announced the clubs will be managing in both of those already, so do go back and catch up with our FM20 plans videos if you haven't seen them yet, and the initial plans video also had a vote in there to allow you to choose the second long-term story on the channel. So I do hope you'll have your say and help me choose which series I'm going to go for. It is going to be an important part of the season as it'll be the second 6 months of the Football Manager cycle. So make sure you cast your vote and decide some of the videos you'll see on this channel. There's also 2 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career. They're on Tuesday and Saturday at midday. We've just moved overseas for the first time in our career in that one, so come and join us to see how we're getting on. And then tomorrow we've got the finale of our Snooker 19 career. We're hoping to finish in the ultimate glory, but of course it could yet be a dramatic failure. So I do hope you'll come and check that one out as well. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support of the series and channel. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we finish the series with a Champions League final.